Start off with a 109 F2, look at the tail wheel lock. Pulling it back will unlock the tail wheel, pushing it forward will lock it. Next is the flap control wheel. You pull it aft to extend the flaps and rotate it forward to retract the flaps. Every bar on the flap is worth 10 degrees extension. Next is the horizontal stabilizer trim. That'll allow the nose to go up or down, and we also have the incidence number, which will tell us if it's set to nose up or nose down. Here's the throttle. Push it forward to increase power, pull it aft to reduce power. There's the mechanical gear position indicator. We have the propeller pitch switch between auto and manual control. Then we have the propeller pitch control, which we can increase propeller pitch and decrease propeller pitch with. There's the landing gear position indicator, the landing gear controls, magnetos, the ammunition counters, the altimeter, the airspeed indicator in kilometers per hour, repeater compass, turn and bank indicator, clock, manifold pressure, tachometer, propeller pitch indicator, which is like a clock, the oil and coolant temperature gauge, fuel gauge with low fuel light, and the fuel and oil pressure gauges. Looking down to the right, we have the water radiator controls. If it's pulled out, it's on automatic. If it's in, the radiators will go to fully open, and there's only two positions. Here's our navigation lights, then our instrument lights with the lighting brightness. And over there in blue is the oxygen equipment. The entire startup sequence is automated, so when you're ready to start, all you need to do is press E and you'll start the engine. With the engine restarted, we regain control of the airplane and we're ready to taxi. So we'll unlock the tail wheel, add a little bit of power to get rolling, and then we'll start taxiing to the runway. To take off in the 109 F2, we'll lock the tail wheel, flaps at 20 degrees, water radiator to open, the horizontal stabilizer trim to +1, propeller pitch to auto, throttle gradual to max, then we'll rotate at 160 km per hour. So we've locked the tail wheel, then we'll roll forward a little bit further on the runway to come to a stop to make sure that the tail wheel is nice and straight. So we're getting ready for takeoff. We'll close the canopy. We'll set the flaps to 20 degrees. You can verify that using the two bars in the flap. Make sure our propeller pitch is at automatic. Our stabilizer trim is set to +1. And our water radiator is in the automatic position, so we're ready to go. Then we'll start gradually increasing the power, get the airplane rolling. Keeping the airplane straight using rudder. Allow the nose to drop, bring the tail off the ground. And we'll accelerate to 160 km per hour and rotate. At a positive rate of climb, retract the landing gear. We'll accelerate to above 200 km per hour. Then we'll begin retracting the flaps. Get up towards pattern altitude, and then we'll make a circular turn from crosswind to downwind. Bring Bring our power back to the cruise setting. Now we'll begin our crosswind turn. To prepare for landing in the 109 F2, on downwind we'll have an airspeed below 250 km per hour and we extend the landing gear. Then we ensure the tail wheel is locked and our propeller pitch is set to the 12 o'clock position. Our trim will be between -2 and -3. This is to help keep the airplane level. And by the end of downwind, we'll be at 220 km per hour. Then we can extend the flaps from between 20 degrees and 40 degrees, at which point we'll make a circular base to final turn at about 190 km per hour. So we extend the landing gear. Tail wheel's locked. We've got 2 green lights. Propeller pitch is on manual. We'll set that now to 12 o'clock position. Now we begin slowing down to about 220 km per hour. Quick check of the runway position. We want to adjust underneath the wingtip. Now as we're approaching the end of downwind, we'll start rolling out the flaps through about 40 degrees. We also want to check back to our front, make sure we can keep the airplane level to avoid us climbing. Once we get the flap extension to 40 degrees, we'll be at about 190 km per hour, and we can begin our circular base to final turn. Now as I'm making this turn, I'm adjusting my pitch and power to keep my airspeed at about 190 km per hour. My goal with an aiming point is at the beginning of the runway. It's a nice gradual turn all the way around, and once we're established on final, we'll get the wings level, continue flying towards the aiming point, maintaining 190 km per hour. Now we'll begin to round out, bring the plane level, reduce power to about 10%, bring the airplane to a 3-point position, then when you're ready to land, cut the power. Upon touching down, we're holding back full back pressure, then we start applying the brakes to come to a full stop. Once you're at a full stop, you can open the canopy, continue taxiing, and retract the flaps. That completes the familiar video for the 109 F2, so you can watch more videos by clicking them here, and you can subscribe by clicking on my channel icon in the middle.